let's get some water. I wanted to talk about this post that I saw on Facebook that was really, really interesting. That got my mind thinking about stuff. So, it says Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are working on a secret movie in which vampire black people play vampires in Jim Crow South in the 1930s, and are fighting the Ku Klux Klan. And I was like, what a concept. Let's talk about this. Let's unpack this as a concept. Because, first of all, well, let's just unpack, like, black people playing the monster in the movie, and, like, black people as monstrous black people. Because we have a history of that with, like, movies like, say, Blackula, with blaxploitation movies. But, like, monstrous black people in the same vein as monstrous gay people. Because you ever hear of monstrous gay people? This like ostracized segment of society that is cast out, that is cast out from society because they do not conform to what is considered the mono society's values and ideals. And so because they don't fit into the larger society's goals and values, they see themselves as monstrous, or they're treated as monsters, or see themselves as monsters because the larger part of society treats them as though they are dangerous. And it goes even worse with, I would say that monstrous black people even has a larger connotation in today's society, in modern society, because you have things like, with the police, that when police officers kill black men, specifically black men, you have this idea of the monstrous black people that, well, especially things like you have, specifically I'm thinking of like Tamir Rice, when they killed kids like Tamir Rice, these 13-year-old black kids, children, they'll kill children, and then they'll say police reports like he was a hulking demon. Remember that police report? I can't get those. They'll try and make it seem like these kids are gangbangers and drug dealers, and that he pulled the gun first, or that he shot first, or that they're the bad kids, or that they're the monstrous black people. So it's very interesting to have a movie that they're going to make about black people playing vampires, which are considered monstrous black people, fighting Ku Klux Klan. Just an interesting aside. And it really played into this idea of taking back autonomy against white supremacy specifically, and this like history of fighting against people who are in power, in charge, historically. Like it's almost like going back in time and rewriting a history of our United States. Just the very idea that there's like this secret project out there, and like that this concept exists. I'm just like, ooh, I'm so excited. I'm like, just the concept makes me like, I want this project to exist, because it's so, just the things that it would do for psyches, just as a community of people. It really, like, because movies have power. And I don't know if you like, for me, movies have weight and power. And watching this go back into historical time and seeing this rewrite of history is I'm sold. I'm sold. It's literally going back and rewriting movies like Birth of a Nation. And that's amazing to me. And I am all for it. In fact, if they set it back even further than 1930 South and rewrote, if they make references to Birth of a Nation, if they would set it back into like 1860, if they make references to Birth of a Nation and rewrite the history of Birth of a Nation where vampires come back and destroy, could you imagine? That would be amazing. That would be amazing if they made visual and references in the script or in the film to Birth of a Nation where they're, as vampires, rewriting that history. Could you imagine? Oh, yes! I'm for that. Do it. That's what I want to see. There's nothing that would make me happier than seeing that get rewritten. Ugh. Watching a bunch of vampires kill a bunch of founding KKK members get slaughtered in a vampire attack. Oh my God. That would be like immediately satisfying. That was a film that I watched that I was not very happy about watching. And if you know anything about the history of Birth of a Nation, they made it accessible to the masses to be able to watch at the cinema. That they wanted it that people could be able to go watch this film that is KKK propaganda. I think it was kind of expensive for the time, but not enough that you couldn't go see it, and not that a lot of people didn't go see it. And it was a very widespread film back in the day, and to have that rewritten as part of our film history, I'm for it. That's all I'm saying. That's what I would like to see. If I could make a plea to Michael B. Jordan about their secret project that they're working on. And like one of the biggest things about like original Birth of the Nation was about like how like even having like the one drop rule even still made you like um dangerous as a black person, made you like conniving and evil. So like that would be interesting to see like the take on how that would be as like a vampire. Like even even just being like yeah, that would be an interesting take on like you're still a vampire. You're the monstrous black, the monstrous vampire of how society still sees you as, you know, you're still you're still a vampire. Because then it gets into like conversations about debates about like light skinned versus dark skinned racism. Um, and that's very interesting. And that's kind of like, racism within the community. Um, so that's interesting because then you start getting into stuff like that. And then you could bring it around to being like being proud of who you are as a vampire and being like, yeah, I'm, owning it because yeah, I could see it being used as like a really good thing because who wouldn't because the best part about being a vampire is that you get to live forever. And the thing is that you are not victims in this world. You are predators. You are predators who own this world and that you do not let people push you around. And that's like the best part about being a vampire is that you are masters of this world and that you are not going to be pushed around by any, you know, anybody. You own this world. Which really puts a whole situation on that, you know, on power dynamics. It's cool. I like the idea.